This is the Bridge broadcast. I'm David Higby. This is going to be a fun conversation. I've got 3 of our JV players on here, and we're just going to kind of shoot the breeze and talk a little bit about what we've learned over the past couple months. So you all want to introduce yourself real quick?
Yeah, my name's Alexis Soria. I'm on the JV Panthers team.
Alexis, how long have you been playing?
This is going to be my 4th year with Bridge.
Awesome.
I'm Elizabeth Rivera. I'm also in the JV Panthers. This is about to be my 2nd year playing.
Hey, I'm Thomas. I'm on the JV boys team, and this is going to be my 4th year playing next year.
Elizabeth, why do we call you Palos?
Uh,
Why are you Palos?
Because,
You introduced yourself as Elizabeth, and I was like, who?
okay, Palos. It's just a nickname I got in middle school, and it's just been around for the longest. So people just, at work, people call me by my actual name. So it's just like, I haven't been to school. I haven't heard anybody call me that in a while.
It's only a school nickname then, or like a lacrosse school
Yeah.
nickname. Okay. I
Yeah.
didn't know that. That's funny. So yeah, like I said in the intro, I just kind of want to make this a conversation about the last couple of months. So it does seem like we're coming out of the quarantine. We're coming out of our shelter in place. People are more optimistic. People are out and about a little bit more. What are some things you guys have experienced or learned, things that you've done even over the past 2 months?
I know that one thing that I've learned is that you don't know how, like, your mental health can get without being around people, or, like, how much you miss certain people.
Mhm.
Basically, like, I didn't, like, notice how much I would miss, like, going to school and seeing Palos' face every day, or, like, going to school and seeing my friends every day. Like, it's just, like, such a habit. Like, you didn't know that it was gonna, like, come to an end, or, like, that, like, you rely on these people so much just to see them every day, like, just to say, like, hi. Or, like, one thing that we would do every morning, we would, like, give each other hugs each morning. And I know that's one thing that we all talk about missing a lot. And I've learned that I need my friends sometimes. I need to see them a couple times just to get by.
For sure.
Right before spring break, like right before like all this shelter in place broke out, one of my teachers like had a pep talk with the last class that I went to in school, and he was like, I think this is gonna last definitely until the end of the school year. It's gonna last for a while. This is something bigger than we all like realize now, but it's gonna blow up in our faces in like a week. And it did. Like everything like blew out of proportion pretty much. And I think that was like a good like pep talk to like kind of like get like me and everybody else in that class like prepared for like, you know, like 2 or 3 months without seeing anybody really.
When he said that, what'd you think right away?
I mean, I thought I was gonna have like a 6-month summer vacation, but
You were like, okay,
I
cool. We're
mean,
going to be home for the rest of the year then.
yeah, pretty much that's what I thought to begin with. And then the next day, well, right after I left school that day, I went to work, and it was the Thursday before spring break. I can remember it so perfectly. And I went in, and that was 8,000 credit card transactions or something in like one day, and it was just like complete like madness. And after hearing him say that, I was like, oh, he's actually right. Like it's actually like bad.
Yeah. Paulus, what about you?
I feel like kind of like the same thing Alexis said. I feel like during quarantine, you really do learn like who's really there for you, who'll check up on you and all that stuff, because that's something that I've seen a lot. Like friends you would expect to check up on you don't. And then like the ones that you do really do care about, like they check up on you. So that's just something.
What's the longest you guys have gone before COVID without seeing like your base group of friends? Is it terribly long, or are you guys always together all the time?
I mean, like, technically, like, we're always together all the time. Like, if like we weren't at school like during the week, we would always have plans like after school or like during the weekend. So it was technically like I was always with my friends. There wasn't a day, like, obviously, like there would be like one day like you wouldn't see them, and like I guess like 3 to the max, I suppose. Like, but like no, there was never like such a long period of time without like seeing them.
Mhm. I feel like besides like the breaks, like Thanksgiving break and summer, like even though there were breaks, we would still see each other. But then there would be like those like 3 days we would go without seeing each other, but that would be the longest because like we would always make plans and hang out.
My group of friends and me are kind of different because we hang out at school. Like that's our friend group. We're always interacting with each other at school. But when it comes to outside of school, me and my friends are pretty good at like trying to keep ourselves busy and trying to find stuff to do to like push ourselves really. And I know I'm always busy. Like I always find stuff to do. Like quarantine hasn't really affected me that much in that sense because I'm not bored. I always like have something on my mind or something like I can be doing constantly. But I mean, it just feels like a longer summer break, to be honest. It doesn't feel like anything more different to me.
Yeah, that's fair. Because I know a lot of you all ended up either with like more schoolwork or, you know, maybe because you're home, you have more family duties. Some of you have jobs. And so maybe you had a chance to work more. And on the other side, I know some of our players were just, you know, less schoolwork. They live in a neighborhood that there's not a lot to do. So they can't really, you know, mill about or find trails or, you know, places to walk around. And they were 100% bored all day type of thing. Where did you guys fall on that line between, you know, nothing really changed, I'm busier now than I ever was, or I have so much free time, I'm going crazy?
I mean, before COVID, I had gotten a job at the Pearl Museum. And so when all of this started, I was supposed to be working a camp that week of spring break when everything started happening. And so like they laid me off basically, and that was what was gonna keep me busy. And so it ended up to having so much free time that I literally don't know what to do. Like there's no trails like around here like you can go on and stuff. Like there's nothing to do around here. Like I literally lost like anything to do. And like I have more like responsibilities at home now too. That's what I've noticed too. I want to go back to school because I'm over it. Like
is it just someone giving you more chores and things to clean and do? Yeah,
like I've noticed like there's more like washing dishes and stuff like that. Like I know like when I was in school, like I would have to like wash dishes and stuff, but like it just goes on like just so much. Like it's just like you do the same thing every day and it's just so boring. Like it literally drives you crazy.
I feel like for me, it's not that like I'm so bored, I'm going crazy, like because of COVID, like when I was in school, I wouldn't get as much hours as I'm getting now. So now that I'm out of school, it's like I'm working so much. Like I'm basically working like the whole day. And then like when I get home, like on my days off, I've really gotten into like running, like working out, or just like doing stuff that like keeps my mind busy, just so I don't go crazy.
Yeah. Thomas, it seems like you've had one of the busier schedules of the players I've talked to.
Yeah. Well, I'm always doing stuff around the house, like anything that like that needs to be done, anything that I've been putting off, like just in life wise that needs to be done that I've been putting off for like the past few years or however long it's been put off. Like that's like stuff that's finally starting to get done, stuff that's finally starting to get finished. And with work, I mean, 40 hours a week, I'm working full time.
This is a course on top of your schoolwork you're getting from your teachers.
Well, about my schoolwork, I mean, I tried most of it for like the first like month, and as soon as the 6 weeks ended, I kind of gave up on that.
Oh, come on, buddy.
What
do you mean? Like you just stopped turning in assignments, or what?
Pretty much.
Gosh.
I mean, I'm not going to copy and paste an assignment that it's hard to learn something like AB calculus online, especially for me. Like I'm more like an in-person learner. Like hands-on learning is like what helps me like understand things. And like learning something like calculus online is like no.
It's a different type of learning for sure.
And on top of that, like something for English, why would I copy and paste an assignment like that I'm not going to remember 5 months from now? I'm not going to. If I did it like myself, then I might remember it, maybe. But I mean, I don't want to put in all that effort just like to not have anything. And then on top of that, like it doesn't affect class rank. It doesn't affect GPA. I did all of my AP tests and I tried. Did they go well? Not really, but I tried.
Yeah. Alexis, what about you in terms of school? How was that learning process and switching to virtual?
For me, virtual learning was really hard in the beginning because like in school, I would have to have like the teacher be there and like give me specific instructions so I could be able to get through my work. And so like not having my teacher there anymore, like walking me through basically to be able to learn what I had to learn was really hard. And so like I would just like do assignments to get them done because like I don't want to say this, but like a lot of them were like completion grades. So it's just like, oh, you had to watch a video, and like it was like 30-minute long video. So you would just like let the video play and like you would do your own thing and stuff like that. I hope my teacher doesn't hear this, but okay. So like you would just let the video play and like you would do your own thing, and like you would just have to like fill out the worksheet with like specific words from the video, and like that's it. And so like it was just a lot of like copying and pasting and stuff. It wasn't really like a lot of like work. But I feel like when it came down to AP tests, that's when like I was like, you should have paid more attention like during like this online learning stuff and like tried a little bit more.
That's where you put more of your effort into, was the AP.
Mm-hmm. That's where I put my because I only had to take 2 AP tests this year, and I feel like they went pretty well, like due to the circumstances and everything that happened. I feel like it went pretty well.
They were eeasier then?
Yeah,
What else have you guys learned? I mean, is there anything about yourself that you learned? Obviously, how much we need, we're all social and we need that human interaction on a pretty regular basis. Anything else that kind of stands out about yourselves, that something that you guys have experienced?
Mm-hmm. I feel like something like a big thing for me is that before Corona, like something I really did struggle with is that I would like talk about myself and like my work very like in a very negative way. And I feel like now that like I had all this time to like think and like just be at home and like do nothing, I feel like I've come to the realization that like if I want to do better, it starts with myself and how I think about myself. So I can't expect myself to improve if all I'm saying is bad things about myself. So I have to like look at the brighter sides of things, and that's something that
I think there's a positivity that you kind of have to have in situations like this. And it's easy to, it's obviously very easy, and it's certainly understandable if you're anxious or fearful or cautious or whatever. But at some point, you'll feel much better when you're a little bit more optimistic about the circumstances. And that's tough for a lot of people, right? Because some people had some pretty challenging circumstances for sure. Thomas, anything that you learned about yourself? Oh, sorry, Alexis.
No, sorry.
Alexis can go first.
All right.
Okay. I know that one thing I learned about myself is like I was a really pessimistic person back then. Like I didn't take a lot of the opportunities that I had for like, I didn't take them, like I wasn't grateful for them. Like I was getting so many opportunities and stuff, and like now that all of that was put to pause, I'm like, damn, you should have been more grateful for everything that you were getting and like everything that you were experiencing and stuff. Because I know that one thing that I'm really like, that really has bummed me out, that has really just dragged me along this entire quarantine break or whatever it's called, is that I'm not gonna be able to travel this summer. And I know it's like it's a consistent thing that I've done each summer, and I'm not gonna be able to travel this summer. And I'm just like, I should really have taken like all those moments that I was like bummed out on like one of those trips. Like you never know what's gonna happen. Basically, I learned that I was a very, very pessimistic person, and I just learned how to turn that around a lot right now. I've learned how to like put all that bad energy and stuff and like to doing something good and like to working in all the upcoming stuff that I have coming up and stuff like that. So I feel like all that negativity has just helped me become more positive and just see things in a different light.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I would say that kind of the same for me. Like I realized that a lot of the stuff that I've been like, I've been just focusing on like doing something or doing a task or focusing on something for so long that like I haven't been concerned with happiness as much as I would care to have been for like a while. Like I've just been focused on, okay, let me find a job. Okay, let me like keep practicing in lacrosse. Let me keep working in school. Let me keep studying. Like there hasn't really been like a moment for me to like stop and like what actually like makes me happy. Like what actually like it's fun.
Yeah.
And like lacrosse is one of those things that like I've definitely realized during quarantine. Like, dang, I miss going out on the field. Like, dang, I've actually like missed like going up against like other teams and stuff. And it's like other stuff, like I got closer with my brother during this quarantine, and like all of like the friends that I do see at work and the friends that like I can like communicate with, yeah, we've gotten a lot closer during quarantine.
That's cool.
And I just think that like the stuff that wasn't really like important to me before quarantine, like kind of like shined and like was like, oh, why are you working so much if this is what is important to you?
Do you think that's pretty normal for high school kids these days? Is that it's just kind of going through the motions? You have a job, you have school, you have with this extracurricular activities. And do you guys sometimes feel like you or your network or high school kids that you know kind of lose focus on what you enjoy and what you really have fun doing?
Yes, I feel like a lot of us struggle with that, especially because there's so much pressure that that school puts on us. It's really like, oh, high school are like the best 4 years of your life, but it's like, oh, you have to do this, you have to do that. College is coming up, junior year is so important, AP tests, like applications, internships, you got to do all these things, and it's just like there's no time for you to like do what you really want to do, like do what's really good for you, like your heart. And it's just like it sucks because you want to do these fun things, but then it's like even whenever, like for me, something that like I've noticed is like whenever I am having fun, I like there's always like a thought in the back of my mind that's like, oh, you have all of this too, like why are you even like out right now? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. I realized that like basically the same thing, kind of pretty much. There's always stuff to do. Like you never really have time. And going to Obama or Irma or like some like more prestigious school, like something that's like more rigorous, it puts a lot more pressure on you to be involved in extracurricular stuff. Because at Obama, since middle school, they were like, oh, colleges look at extracurriculars, GPA matters, but extracurricular is even better if you can do like more stuff outside of school. There's been so many things outside of school that I've just like taken shots at and I've gotten into, but like it doesn't really matter to me if I'm in it or not. It's like really like what's enjoyable, pretty much.
I think if I was a high school kid nowadays, I would not have survived. Like I wouldn't survive. I mean, there was far less pressure to have the resume or have the depth that you guys are, I think, having to have. What have you guys done then to entertain yourself during COVID, during quarantine?
I feel like one big thing for me is like I love going on runs with my dog. Like just like being there with him, it like really relaxes me. And it's just like, especially when like the weather isn't like too bad outside. It's been raining, so like that's not okay.
How far are you running?
I try to run a mile every day. I've been trying to get my mile time down.
What's your mile time now?
When I started, it was 10 minutes, but now it's like at 8:30.
Nice. I'm trying to challenge.
To 7.
Are you? I am too. Thomas threw out a challenge, so I'm trying to keep up with him, and it's not going well.
I don't think so.
You ran, Thomas, you ran what, like a 6:50 or something like that?
Yeah. I can probably go less than 6:45 right now.
Oof. I ran a 7:50 and I almost died.
I'm telling you, coach, by the end of summer, it's going to be sub 6. By the end of summer, sub 6.
That's fast, man. Good for you. Alexis, what about you? What are you doing to kind of find joy in all this?
I know that one thing that I've done is I've learned what parts of the house I can play wall ball on. I can do wall ball on, because I've noticed that like there's like you know how like houses have like that plastic stuff that's, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I live in
like
an
I've noticed
so.
that you can't hit those parts of the wall because they'll crack. I've learned that. That's one big thing that I've learned. And I've also learned I've just listened to like a lot of music. I've made a bunch of new playlists and stuff. And I feel like that's what's making me really happy, like listening to music and stuff too. But yeah, nothing interesting really.
No, I think that's cool. I mean, you have limited options too, right?
Yeah.
So I have a question for you guys, because this is one thing that my wife and I, and then also I think millennials in general, have found during quarantine is TikTok. Because you guys have been on it for like a year. Like I don't know how long it's been around, but there are so many people my age who are like discovering TikTok and they're crushing it because it's so it's such an interesting platform.
So
how much time do you guys spend on TikTok a day?
The amount of sleep I'm supposed to get, that's how much time I spend.
That's true. Oh, like I'll tell myself I'm gonna go to sleep, but like I'll just like spend hours and hours of like just scrolling through TikTok, and then like you get like these certain TikToks that's like oh, it's time to like take a break off of TikTok,
Oh
get some
my
sleep and
God,
stuff like that.
Oh,
Like,
it
that's
tells
how,
you that? Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes.
Okay, I haven't gotten that deep into TikTok then.
But yeah, that's how long I've spent on it.
What's the allure of TikTok versus like Snapchat or Instagram then?
Oh, it's just like I feel like Instagram and Snapchat, like you get bored of it after a while because it's like there's only so many stories you can watch, and like sometimes people get so annoying. Like I don't want to watch you, like so I just go on TikTok and I just yeah.
So why, I don't understand why that makes TikTok better though.
Because
Because
it's like the content is so different compared to like other social media platforms.
Okay.
Like on TikTok, there's just like a whole like there's just so much like to watch on there.
What about you, Thomas? Are you on TikTok at all?
Not yet. I'm
Not
trying
yet.
to not get on the bandwagon that fast. I've been putting off like actually getting onto TikTok just because like
It's probably
I
not a
don't
bad
really-
thing.
yeah, I don't really have any free time right now, so
Yeah.
but I know eventually it'll happen. I'm just putting it off.
It's pretty fascinating. I think the one thing that I've discovered is how creative people are. And there's just so much, there's like a lot of really funny content, whether it's like with someone's dog or like their family. There's some really funny stuff. I mean, there's some inappropriate stuff on there too, obviously, but some of the feeds are really funny and really clever and creative.
it's a really good app. I feel
I
like
know.
TikTok and Twitter are like two things that like I really
Yeah.
have been really there.
Yeah, I'm not, I haven't figured out Twitter still to this day.
Oh my God, it's like
It's
the
so
second
good.
best thing.
Wait, really?
Yes.
Because Twitter to me is kind of like old school.
No, that's how
no.
it is when you first start off. Like I remember when I first got Twitter, like I was like, where's the hype? I don't understand. Like there's nothing funny on here. And then like I deleted it and I came back like 4 months later and it was just like, wow, I'm addicted.
You guys are seniors. What are you guys looking forward to? Like, what's the? I mean, you guys are in charge and you're the leaders. What did you say, Thomas?
I said, shut up, freshman.
It doesn't feel real to me. Like I was literally looking back at like the pictures from freshman year. I was like, there's no way I'm a senior. Like that's still me. Like I'm still 12 years old. I don't care.
That's how I see it.
What are you guys looking forward to for senior year?
Senior signing day.
Leaving.
Yeah.
Leaving.
Yeah.
I mean, actually, I would prefer high school over like becoming a senior, to be honest, because I don't think a lot of us like we say we're ready, but like when the time comes, I know it's gonna be like bittersweet, kind of.
For sure. Yeah.
It's gonna be sad.
Thomas, where have you thought about school for next year?
I don't have any ideas, to be honest.
That's okay.
I mean,
that's okay.
I kind of want to go to school in North Texas. I don't really like want to go out of state. If I do go out of state, I mean, it's the college that offers me the most money, to be honest. That's where I'm going.
For sure.
If I can get a full ride or 90% somewhere, then that's where I'm going. I don't want to graduate like a lot of debt.
Is that something you guys think a lot about, the financial part?
Yes. Like
yeah.
I
mean, it's a hurdle for everyone.
No, just like all that work and like you working up to get your like degree after you graduate, like whatever university you're going to, and like you still have to pay it off, and like the idea of it is just scary.
I'm gonna drop out.
No, you're not. You're not. So we only had half a season, which sucked.
Yeah.
What was one of your favorite moments from that very short 2020 season?
When we won our first game.
That's right.
Yeah. I really liked spring training. I feel like that's something I'll remember forever.
Yeah.
I mean, other than spring training, it's hard to like capture like one moment that really stood out. There were I know. I forgot which game it was, but I had picked up both the twins and Tim and Nathan, and it was like an hour away. And then after the game, we all went to go get Jack in the Box and we hung out afterwards for like 3 or 4 hours.
Oh, that's cool.
It was kind of fun.
That was the Fort Worth game, wasn't it?
Yeah.
something I've learned is how rude people can be to workers. Like, I hate how rude.
Facts.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Oh.
So Alexis, you weren't working, right?
No, sir.
Okay. And Paulus, you were working at a fast food place, right?
Yes.
At Cane's. How was that?
The other day, when was it? Sunday, a customer made me cry. Like, that's how bad it is. Like, I feel like it's just like, it's super stressful, especially because like, because it's like a whole pandemic is going on, and it's just like these people are really like starting a fight over chicken. Like, I just don't understand. It's so like, I'm so over it. But
that's too bad.
Whatever.
Were you working? I mean, like right at the peak, and when everything was taken off, were you?
Yes, like yeah, like okay, so like at first, whenever like we heard that like they were gonna like start shutting everything down and like they split us into 2 teams, so I don't see all of my coworkers. I only see half of them, so that's how. But like even now, I feel like it's gotten busier. Like the customer that made me cry, like I was already stressed because like whenever we were like wrapped all around our restaurant, so there's like a whole line of cars, and like whenever it's like that, we really try to get the cars out fast so that we take care of every customer as fast as we can. And this lady, whenever she started the argument, she was like holding up a whole line. I was just like, I could not take it. Like,
I'm sorry to hear that. Thomas, you were telling me stories about Tom Thumb, and it just kind of
actually in the past week, there's a Starbucks inside of our Tom Thumb, and in the past week I've kind of like switched over to the Starbucks actually. And I like the Starbucks actually more because at Tom Thumb, you're like the customers are always arguing about prices, and it's 30 cents off like a bag of chips or something. Like, well, why are you going to sit here and complain? I have like 10 other people in my line. It's 30 cents. Like, calm down.
Yeah.
And they're arguing like so much about like just like the small minor details or something. I can understand if it didn't take off like a 50% discount or something, like yeah, I'll give you that. But if it's just something like $1 or $2, like, well, like, oh, okay, I'll take it off, but don't yell at me. It's not my fault. It's like the computer's not that good.
Yeah.
Did you guys ever feel unsafe while working?
Yeah. Once.
Not really.
I was on cashier, and this was before they put all like the glass up. The plexiglass doesn't do anything. We talk around it. The customers always like go around the plexiglass.
Right.
I don't see the reason why, but they always like try to talk to me around the plexiglass.
Yeah, it's not helping then.
That's what it's there for. But before that was installed, it was like like spring break, like mid-March, and everybody was panicking, and there was like a whole line. The line was wrapping around the inside of the store, like up and down the aisles and stuff. And I was on cashier, just like trying to get as many people out. And this lady, she just started like coughing like a dry cough. And I backed up like all the way into my register. And then everybody like behind her backed up and everything. And I don't think she realized, but like everybody within like a 5 feet distance just like kind of like.
Yeah, as they should.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was at a coffee shop and I accidentally sneezed. I sneezed into my arm and just was like, my eyes went wide and I started looking around and I was like, uh-oh.
Yeah, I hate that. Like the other day on the register, this is gonna sound stupid, but last week on the register, I forgot how to breathe for a second and I started coughing. But I forgot how to breathe. Like I was just sitting there and I forgot to breathe one time correctly. And like I just started coughing and something got caught in my throat. And I had like a whole line of customers, but like I couldn't breathe. So I was just like trying not to cough. And there was a whole line of people and like my eyes started getting watery from like this, like having to hold this in. And they started asking me questions and stuff. And I'm like, your total is like $20. It's up there.
And you're just trying not to like hack up a lung.
Yes.
Alexis, what about you? Yeah. Have you been out and about and do you feel safe or unsafe, or are you getting more comfortable?
No, my mom's usually the one that goes out. Like the only thing that I've done to go out is like, you know, those water gallons that you fill up? Like I'll go fill those up and it's just like a short drive, but like driving is like the most I've done, like a 10-minute drive. But like when I come back home, like no, I never go out. No. Like I'll go pick up like.
You don't like walking around your neighborhood or anything like that?
No, not here. No, I don't like that.
That's fair.
Yeah. I mean, at work for me, like I feel like 2 months ago, everybody was like kind of like respectful. Like I got a bunch of people giving me tips and like giving me compliments and stuff, and I got so many people saying you guys are heroes. Like you, like thank you for like
Yeah.
just being here. That was like really nice to see because back in January and and February and December of last year, there would be so many people like just like complaining about everything we did,
Yeah.
and then like it was a nice change of pace. That's gone now, but
Oh,
it
that's
was
too
nice
bad.
for it was nice for the time we had it. People don't care about us anymore.
Yeah.
These essential workers.
That's awful. That's too bad. Paulus, did you get kind of the same initial response?
Yes, like I like a lot of people would say that like, oh, you guys are heroes, like thank you so much for everything you're doing. But now it's just like it was only like a little bit. Like it was nice while it
Yeah,
lasted, but now it's just like they're back to
Now they're
like
just
being
yelling at you because
rude.
the chicken fingers aren't
Yes.
counted
Mhm.
properly.
Makes me so mad.
I mean, I think you guys are heroes, and Paulus, you're definitely a hero because Canes is amazing.
Palos is a hero.
Thank you.
golden chick is better.
Y'all make me
No,
feel
Golden
special.
Chick is not better.
Golden chick is
It's
a
not better. It
thousand
is
times better than
100%
Canes.
not better. I have one question kind of related to your senior year and COVID. If you guys were seniors now, or this would have been you were 2020s, how would it have been different for you guys, this experience?
I don't know, like seeing all because yesterday the seniors from our school like had their graduation,
Mm-hmm.
and just like seeing all of that, like how they celebrated, like thinking if that was me, I would be really sad. Like I feel like we would have handled it the same way that they're handling it now. Like we would be upset, but like we would try to make the best of the situation, I guess. 'Cause,
It is what it is.
Yeah, I agree with Palos. Like, I would be really upset because like senior signing day and like graduation are like two big things at our school, and
Yeah,
like not getting to celebrate those big events like really bums you out. Like, cause like those are things that you wait for. Like you see as a
since
sixth
like
grader,
yeah,
like you see other like the seniors do, and like you not being able to do it, I would have cried. Like, definitely.
mhm.
I do appreciate and certainly acknowledge how well the 10 seniors in Bridge have done in kind of handling this. And one of the things that I think is really interesting is that this is a shared experience between everyone, right? Like the entire world. How long do you think this feeling or this mentality of not taking things for granted will last? Or do you think we'll kind of go back to, where we were and thinking that, oh, okay, I'll be here forever, or I'll be doing this forever type of thing?
I'll give it
feel
about a
like-
month.
You're not that optimistic.
No, I'm not. I mean, people are like kind of trash. Like
Goodness.
like
Yeesh,
with what happened,
Thomas,
like
goodness.
with, I mean, it's already started to go back, and after the quarantine,
Yeah,
like, so people are only going to think about themselves and how much fun they're having and how much stuff they can pack into a certain day, and nobody's gonna think about like the people who's handing them their drinks, right?
Yeah.
Like it didn't happen before. It barely happened like during quarantine because everybody was just bored, and it's gonna go back to the same thing afterwards. Would I like it to change? A societal shift, like that would be basically like what I think America kind of needs at the moment, and nobody's like really thinking like, oh, like what about the person that like is helping me out right now? What about the person who is like just like the next guy? Like nobody's really concerned about that. They're just worried about like what's right for them.
I hate to agree with you in some aspect that I think a lot of old habits come back, and hopefully we hold off as long as we can. I mean, and this is not in the same breath as what you're talking about in terms of, people being negative or people being maybe selfish, but, just like habits of mine that I've developed in quarantine, like I'm running more, I'm eating healthier, even little things like that are, I hope will last, but I don't know, once I can get in line at Cane's, that might be, my healthy eating might die off. Unfortunately, you might be right that those old habits, whether they're diet or exercise or, the way you treat people, they may come back. And so that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
How are you going to be different out of this? And what's a lesson that you've learned that you're going to carry, that you hope and think that you'll carry with you then?
I mean, ever since like my first time actually working like getting like an actual job with actual checks and actual hours and stuff. I've tried to treat people in those kind of jobs like the same way I would want to be treated. Like, oh no, it's fine. Like, don't worry about it. Like, oh, like I've always like I was raised to have manners, and like even like before I started working, like I would like if we were in a restaurant, I would want to clean up my space because I just know that they have a lot more stuff to do than just clean my table. Like there's a lot more going on behind the scenes than just what they say. Like, and people go through a lot more behind the scenes too, and that's just something that's like real. You can't like discredit that.
Alexis, Palos, what about you all?
I mean, like, pay more respect to, like, frontline workers, especially, like, janitorial staff. And I feel like they're the ones that aren't really getting a lot of credit either. And, like, a lot of essential workers as well, because, like, they're the ones basically, like, risking their lives and stuff for us to be able to, like, one day be able to, like, everything go back to normal. And it's just crazy that, like, we took, like, all of them for granted back then, and like we're like, oh, like they're just doctors and nurses and stuff like that. Oh, like they're just like the janitors, like their job is to clean up and stuff. But like if you really think about it, like these janitors are cleaning up in like rooms of patients who like are like who have been like affected with like COVID and stuff. And like I don't know, I don't see a way. Like obviously like there is a way, but like I don't imagine in like what way we can ever like repay all these workers right now that are like sacrificing their lives, their families, their kids, and like everything, because like they could just like leave their job if like they wanted to, like be like, I don't want to put my family in risk, like my family is too important to me. But instead they said, no, I'm gonna put my like life in risk to help other people get back on their feet and like hopefully one day put this to an end.
Yeah.
So
I feel the same way. I feel like
yeah.
That's it. Like it's crazy to see how people are so like, some people are so ignorant, and like as much as I would like, as like both of them said that like as much as I would like things to like be fine when we go back, it's just people are gonna go back to being selfish and just caring about themselves and being like, yeah.
I definitely hope that how we treat really certainly everyone, but people that maybe society has had maybe less regard for. I hope that changes. It could, it couldn't. I hope that for the people we know in our organization, I hope that's something that, well, one, I hope it, was never an issue. I hope we do have greater appreciation for those who have spent the last 2 months in some pretty unsafe spaces. What are your thoughts on getting outside a little bit more and even with lacrosse, like how comfortable do you all feel with doing some form of lacrosse programming, being outside with your friends again?
I feel like right now, like as much as like seeing that like the government is like allowing certain states to lift the restrictions on social distancing and restaurants opening back up and all that stuff, for me right now I feel like I still feel like unsafe going out, like I just because it's allowed, like especially like right here in Texas, how like the governor said we could open back up and how we're gonna open in phases and stuff. Like I just think it's so dumb. I think they're only doing it for the economy. They're not doing it for the well-being of the community of this whole state. Like they're only doing it to save the economy. And it's just like right now people are like, oh yeah, like just because like it's allowed to go outside we can go. Like no, like that's not how I feel.
Mm-hmm. I agree with Palos a lot, because like when my mom goes to the store, she always comes like back home and says like how people aren't wearing masks and stuff, and I'm just like, and the fact that like she has to be around all these people and stuff, like nobody's really ever being taken into consideration like when all of this is happening, and like people aren't just like doing just a simple task of like putting on their mask and stuff. And it's just like the fact that like we're reopening up, like Paolo said, like I would just still like rather stay home. Like there's no rush to go outside. Like what am I missing? Like I know I'm still stuck at home. Like all my friends are stuck at home. Like we're all doing the same thing. But it's just, yeah, like I still don't feel like completely safe to go outside yet.
I feel like if people listened, we would be heading in the right direction. But like if people wore masks, then like maybe we could slowly start opening back up. Maybe with like because I know that whenever we're opening like restaurants back up, it's only like a 25%. Like you can only allow like 25% of like the amount of people that can be allowed in there.
Right.
People are just not gonna listen, and they're just gonna go back. They're gonna pretend everything's back to normal, and it's not okay.
What I hope not to happen is everybody prepares like, oh, quarantine's finally gonna end, but this isn't the end really. It's not like, oh, like just like open up the floodgates, like, oh, everybody, y'all can go out now. It's over. I mean, I just hope that people are smart about it. Like, I've had a lot of friends that are just like, hey, Thomas, you want to come do this? You want to come do that? And I had like 3 or 4 parties that my friends went to that I could have gone to, but I was like, 100 people in one house? I don't know. I'm kind of smarter than y'all.
It's a lot of people.
That's just me, though.
I definitely agree with you guys. It seems
Yeah.
maybe a little too early. And I think with Bridge especially, like we're going to be very cautious about how we return. I mean, I haven't gotten an email out yet, but we're not going to plan on doing any in-person stuff until probably at least the middle of June, and it's going to be small group stuff at best. Like certainly no games, and we've canceled Summer Academy, which is our overnight camp. We're the summer league, I don't know, is kind of up in the air. It's tough for everyone. I get the balance between having an economy that works and keeping everyone safe. I'm probably more in the boat of safety and being cautious.
I definitely don't think gyms are. I canceled my gym membership actually. Even though they were giving like the free days out, I still don't think it's. I still don't think it's safe.
Yeah, there are definitely places that I would not visit yet. I popped in a couple coffee shops. I have to go grocery shopping. We went into an ice cream place the other day. We try to hit drive-thrus as often as we can. We're still trying to take precautions. I've got my mask on and wash our hands as soon as we come in. We're definitely trying to do what we can and try to be as respectful as we can to the people around us. Like when we're at a drive-thru, I put my mask on and hope that's enough reassurance for the person on the other side.
The point of having the masks is if everybody wears them in public, if everybody wears them, then it's safer for everybody because of the science behind it.
Yeah, it reduces the risk, right? It doesn't prevent, it reduces.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, I think my mask looks really cool, and so I'll wear mine even after COVID. So I'll coach with it on. I just can't yell as loud, but my mask looks awesome. So whatever. Oh, go ahead.
Bridge
dad hat.
I thought about that. So I actually talked to a group. They were doing custom masks, and I was like, "Oh, can I get the Bridge logo on that, or like do something kind of cool?"
God.
But I think I think everyone hopefully has masks by now, and
I'd still buy one.
Yeah, I might do it if there's still maybe demand. I'll like order like a box or something like that. Might be kind of fun.
I remember the last Bridge practice we had. Tim, like it was the one day I forgot water, and Tim had a big jug, and I was like, "Hey Tim, can I get some water?" And he said, "Nah, that coronavirus stuff is going around. I don't play with that." And everybody started laughing. And then 2 days later.
And then 2 days later, the NBA shut down. And
Oh.
Have you guys done a lot of lacrosse in quarantine?
Sometimes like whenever I do go out to run, I bring my stick sometimes to do wall ball at the place I run at. So
that's cool.
That's about it though.
Yeah, that's okay. It'll be funny to see you guys throwing and catching again or on the field again and see who hadn't touched their stick the whole time.
I haven't been practicing lacrosse as much as I've been like just like physical endurance and strength.
That's
like
good.
Just conditioning basically. Like I make sure to try to work out every night, or like whenever I wake up in the morning, or like just try to go for a run like at least once a week. And at Tom Thumb, like it's something small, but like pushing like a whole line of carts, like eventually that builds up. And I know it sounds kind of stupid, but like it like actually like is kind of a workout in a way.
You see Thomas in the Tom Thumb parking lot pushing like 30 carts at full sprint. Trying to get his reps in.
Yeah.
The one thing I've pulled from this is how resilient people are, right? And it's been tough for a lot of people, and everyone has a variety of challenges. At least for the majority of Bridge and the families that are part of Bridge, everyone seems to have managed to do really well. But yeah, hey, so, thank you guys for doing this, and thanks for hanging out with me.
Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you for having us.